In this video, I'm going to go through the 6 different ways you can count in Power BI and how you could use them the same way as you would do in Excel. We're going to go through their differences one by one. I'll also demo to you how they react to different data types if you don't know that already. All of that and more. So without further ado, let's get started. Hi, my name is Fanan and welcome to the Solutions Abroad YouTube channel where I focus on teaching beginners the wonderful world that is Power BI. I upload new videos every week, so make sure you hit that subscribe button and the bell icon to get notified when a new one is out. So counting rows and values is probably one of the most common functions that you would be using if you work with data. And if you work with Excel, you'd probably be familiar with some of the functions. But did you know that you can do this in Power BI too? In Power BI, we can count in 6 different ways. So let's go through it with an example that I prepared for you today. I created a sample people dataset here with 8 different columns. I generated this sample dataset using a website called Mockaroo.com, which is a handy way to rapidly generate test data. I'll leave a link in the description box below for that. I created a couple of columns in different data types, so numbers, text, date, and true or false types, so we can see how each of our count functions will work on them. Let's start with count, which is a function that lets you count rows within a column. So you specify the column you want to count in the function itself. As you can see, when I count the ID column, it shows us a count of 20 as we expect. If we now count the business unit column by swapping the column in the function, you'll see that the count gives us 19 instead. This is because the count function ignores empty cells. So if you have any cells in the column that has a null or blank value, it won't be included in the count. Now if I swap this to the last name column, you'll see that it can count rows on text type columns, and it will ignore null values, which gives us 12. If I swap now to our termination date column, this function can count date type columns, and again it ignores the null values, giving us 17. Now let's swap this with the isManager column. You'll see that as soon as I swap the column, the function errors out. This is because the count function doesn't work on true or false fields. So if you wanted to count this column, you'll have to change this column type to a text or a number type. Or you can use another type of count, which is COUNTA. COUNTA works pretty much the same as count. It counts non-blank rows from a column. The only difference is that you can count true or false data types as well. So if I change the function to COUNTA, you'll see that it counts the non-blank rows of our isManager column instead of erroring out, so it gives us 6. If you wanted to count the unique values in a column, you can use the DISTINCTCOUNT function for this. Same as the previous functions, you need to specify the column you want to count. So if we write business unit, for example, it tells us that there are 5 distinct values in this specific column. Bear in mind that an empty cell counts as a distinct value in itself. So in this case, we have 4 business units and an empty cell, which makes 5 unique values. If I swap this with last name, it gives me 13. So same thing, 12 distinct last names and an empty cell. If I swap with termination date, this gives me 18. And finally, when I swap it with isManager, this gives me 2, which is either true or blank. If you wanted to count just the blank rows, you could use the function COUNTBLANK, which does exactly as it sounds. It counts the blank rows in a column. When I change this function to a COUNTBLANK and specify ID as the column we want to count, you'll see that the function returns blank instead of 0. This function will return blank if there are no blank rows in the column. If you want this function to return a 0 instead of a blank value, a little tip that I can give you is to add a +0 at the end of your function. This arithmetic forces your result to always come back with a 0 value instead of blank. Let's swap this with business unit, which now gives us a 1 blank row. Swapping it with last name gives us 8 blank values. If I swap this with termination date, it gives us 3 blank values. And finally, if I swap it with isManager, it gives us 14 blank values. So this function works pretty much on all the data types that you could be using. If you wanted to count how many rows there are in a table, you can use the COUNTROWS function, which lets you do exactly that. Instead of specifying a column, you specify a table in the function. So if I edit this measure and put our table here, people, it will give us 20. So regardless of how many columns there are or what their data types are, this function will give us the total number of rows for this table. It's a pretty simple function, and you'd normally be using this in combination with other more complicated functions. So don't sweat this one so much, and let's move on to the last two functions that we have, which is COUNTX and COUNTAX. These are what we call iterator functions, and they work almost exactly the same as our SUMX and AVERAGEX functions. I made separate videos for each of those iterator functions. If you wanted to know more about how they work, check those videos out. Just think of iterators as a way to add some expressions or if statements to extend the count. Iterators take two values, a table and an expression. Let's put people as our table, then business units as our expression. You'll see it gives us 19, which works pretty much the same as the normal count function. So you're probably thinking to yourself at this point, well, what's the point of using COUNTX, right? Why don't we just use the normal count function? Well, for starters, because we specify the table that we want to do our evaluations on, which gives us a lot more control over what the result of that count is. So it lets us do some count ifs or add some filters on this table. Let me show you what I mean. Let's say we want to only count the people with the business unit of 1. If we take people and add a new filter function here instead, basically instead of just counting the people table, we want to put some filters on this first. A filter needs two things. Let's put our table again, people, and in expression, let's put business unit equals to 1. Close that function and hit enter. You'll see that the new result gives us 7. Which only counts the rows that have business units of 1. Let's try something else now. Let's change this expression from business unit to termination date. Once we do that, you'll see that this count gives us 5 instead. There's two things that's happening in this function right now. It filters the table to 7 rows, right? So we're only looking at rows with the business units of 1. Next, our count counts the non-blank values from our expression. And since our expression is the column termination date, out of the 7 rows, there are 2 empty cells. And this is why it gives us 5 as our value. I hope you understand how that works now. Let's move on to the next one. Let's swap the expression to isManager. Again, we see that this errors out the function, the same as count did at the beginning. If you haven't guessed yet, the way you can overcome this is by using our last count function, COUNTAX, which allows you to count true or false columns. Now if we swap the function to COUNTAX, you see that it gives us 2, which is only counting the 2 non-blank values that we have in our isManager field with a business unit of 1. To make it easier to remember, just think that COUNTX is like a more advanced version of the normal count function, and the COUNTAX function is a more advanced version of the COUNTA function. So those were the 6 different ways you can count in Power BI. So to summarize each one of those, use count if you want to count non-blank values from a column, but it doesn't work with true or false data types. So you use COUNTA instead if you want to count true or false data types. You use DISTINCTCOUNT to count unique values in a column. Use COUNTBLANK if you want to count rows that have blank values. Use COUNTROWS if you want to count the number of rows in a table. Use COUNTX if you want to add expressions like filter on your results. But same as the count function, it doesn't support true or false data types. So you use COUNTAX instead to count these types of columns. I hope you understand how to use these count functions in Power BI now. If you have any more questions, leave them in the comment section below. Give this video a like if it helped you. It's the best way to let me know that you enjoy this type of content. Get in touch using the social media links in the description box below. And thank you so much for watching again, guys. See you again on the next one.